This is a question I get frequently. It is what to expect in a nutrition consult. And I get it. I also want to know what to expect when I'm meeting with someone that I'm hoping can solve a problem for me. And so, what I want to do is break down what you can expect in a nutrition consultation. Maybe you've been watching for a little while. Maybe you've hit the button and then you're like, nope. Or maybe you've hit it, you thought you booked it, you realize you didn't, and you're like, I haven't been able to go back. This episode may be for you. This is the first episode you're hearing from me or you're watching on YouTube. I'm Dr. Bamonte. I've been a veterinarian for over 11 years. I have a deep-rooted passion in nutrition for my patients because I have seen what it has done for so many of them. I have seen how many pets have come to me on 7+ medications. The owner's almost ready to put them down. And we've been able to really reverse, turn around their health for the best. Get them off the medications, get them to gain weight that they needed to gain weight, get them to lose weight that they needed, get them to walk better, get them to stop scratching, getting to eat better. And so I want to break down what you can expect in a nutrition consultation, what it is and what it is not, so that hopefully this will bring you some clarity. And I look forward to one day, hopefully getting to know you and your pet. Because it is so much more than just talking about dog food. It is so much more about, oh, okay, your dog's 8 years old. He's pretty active. Here's some list of brands wishing you the best. Because I believe no two dogs are the same. Like, can somebody give me a platform and a mic? I guess this is it to really tell you that no two dogs are the same. And because no two dogs are the same, no two pet owners are the same. And you may have 3 dogs and none of them are the same, even with you. And I think that's actually really cool. I think it gives them so much freedom, so much flexibility, so much influence that they're not all the same. Because if you had a dog who passed away at 5 years old from cancer, don't you want to know that all dogs aren't the same? That you're not going to have to go through that heartbreak again, that there are options for you? So I'm going to tell you right now, if you're not wanting the cookie cutter approach, if you're wanting the personalized approach, I invite you to schedule your one-on-one nutrition consultation so we can talk about your pet in a really personalized setting so they can be set up for success to not just survive, but to thrive so they can live better and hopefully live longer. And so what this isn't a quick Google search, although maybe you found me from Google. God bless the Google ads. God bless the Google gods. But this isn't a quick Google search. This is a personalized roadmap for you and your dog so you can set them up for success. And so what goes into a nutrition consultation? I'm going to do some notes here because I don't want to derail on kind of like the systematic approach on how this goes. Because I have found now doing these for several years outside of like clinical practice, like in a hospital setting, that there is a system to it that allows for things to just flow, that allows pet parents like you to come to me and be like, you are so intentional, that I feel so cared for. I feel so seen. I feel so heard, that me and my pet are almost like the only ones here. How cool is that, right? And so what you'll do is you will book online because we will meet virtually like this. And so you will book through an online uh, booking system where you will have access to a calendar to see what days and dates work best for you. Typically, as of right now, typically, and I'm recording this the end of September 2025, typically you can be scheduled, meaning you can find availability on my schedule within 30 days. Typically, same week is rare. It is very rare. It used to be, it's not like that anymore. What you can also expect is if, let's say, you book out a month and you're just excited to get your pet living better, or your pet's a little critical, you can email me. What I can't do is promise you that I can get you in sooner. What I can say is I can put you on a move up list for any openings I'm able to create in my schedule, or if there is a reschedule, I will tell you reschedules are very, 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 very rare. Most pet parents are chomping at the bit and they're excited to meet. It is extremely, I don't even need a whole hand to count how many times I've had to pet parents want to reschedule. It is very rare. I do, on some circumstances, offer urgent scheduling, which is an additional fee based on my availability to get you in for urgent matters. That is rare. I don't want to promise that. That's why I don't advertise it because it is rare. It is based on my availability. Because I'm managing other patients, I'm creating recipes, and I know that when it comes time to talk to you about your dog or when I'm emailing you back, you want all that attention intentionally on you so that way you can get the guidance you deserve. I get it because I would want that too. And so I have to be able to create margin and space for that while also being a human, taking my time to recharge so that my brain can be as sharp as possible for my patients. And so I can also enjoy time with my loved ones and really fill my cup so that I can really serve you and your pets and your dogs. So typically scheduling, you can be able to schedule within 30 days. I always tell people book your appointment on the soonest or that works for you, and then let me know and I can put you on my move up list. And sometimes I'm able to move you up. Sometimes it's a few days notice. Sometimes it's more. But that's the only way I'm able to move you up, though, is once you are scheduled. I'm not able to schedule you initially. That's something you do, and then I can reschedule you on my side if we're able to move you up. And planning is important because I really believe that if we can be proactive in our pet's health, then we have to be less reactive. And that reactivity can be really damaging to them and to us. It can be stressful. They pick up on stress. And I really need to do a podcast episode, or you're watching this on YouTube, about how their nervous system is so important for their immune system and just their overall well-being. And when they sense us stressed, we think sometimes that our pets are this like emotional support fur blanket. Oh, when I'm sad, they comfort me, and they do. I know all of my dogs have done it. All of my dogs I've had, my current dog, they're so good at knowing it. That's why they're perfect. It's also stressful for them. So, as much as proactivity we can be and less reactive. Now, I know sometimes diagnoses come out of like left field that we weren't expecting. That cough we thought was just kennel cough ends up being a mass that's affecting their airway. That the diarrhea that comes and goes we thought was just like the food didn't agree with them, and now we realize that their gastrointestinal tract, their intestines or gut is on fire. I understand that. And you're like, they can't afford to lose another pound. I understand. But as much proactive as we can be, the less reactive we typically need to be. And nutrition is really about being proactive. It's not last minute. A lot of this is going to take some time. Sometimes we get lucky and we make a switch within 2 weeks. We're seeing improvement, but it takes time. And so before we even meet, the work starts. It's a little bit on your part, and it's actually a lot more on my part. So once your consultation is confirmed and you book it, you'll receive an email that will be addressed to you. And it's going to have you fill out a very brief form, but it really gives me a good idea of where your pet is, where your dog is with their health, where you want them to go, where you want them to be, and where they've been. What has not worked? Are they a picky eater? What are you looking for? Are you hoping to do homemade recipes? Is this a good fit for you to do homemade recipes? Are you wanting to buy something? Is that a good fit for you? And so I kind of am able to do a little bit of homework before we even meet to know what you're currently feeding, looking at the ingredients, looking at the traits, getting a good idea at your pet's health so I can have my wheels turning. And so that way, when we're meeting, it can be more about action planning rather than history taking. And so it will save valuable time by having you fill out that form. It is required for you to fill out that form. And so that way, when you come in, we are ready to dive into strategy and not just that history taking. Now, clients will say, what happens if it's not filled out? Well, if it's not filled out, part of the session will have to be used to collect history. And I rather use our time, which is currently 40 minutes, to really plan and do strategy rather than just history take. Again, and then it's rare that pet parents don't fill it out before. I've had it happen. And I will tell you, we will have to take some time to do a history taking. And sometimes that can be half of our session. And then we're only left with half of it to strategy plan. And I want your expectations to be met. So this form is so valuable. It is simple, but it provides so much information. So that way we can really attack this together as a team and be collaborative. And the more detail you provide, the more tailored your plan can be. The more we can elaborate on the call to really have it so personalized. Again, because no two dogs are the same. The actual experience, what you can expect is we will meet on Zoom, which is great. It's very convenient. We meet for 40 minutes. We focus on food options, whether you want to buy something, whether you want to make something. Is doing a blend a good fit for you and your dog? If you're buying something, what do we want to look for? This includes ingredients to look for, ingredients to avoid. And I try and give examples of what to look for. But more importantly, I want you to understand the premise of what we're looking for. So that way, if that food that you're buying ever changes, it is sold to another company, the CEO changes, price of commodities change, and so they change the ingredients. You're like, you know what? I know what to look for. I got this. I know what to look for because I know what I don't want to feed my dog, or I know I want to look for these ingredients. Most of the time, It's knowing what not to feed. It's knowing what to look for to avoid. And that can sometimes make it easier than a long list of what you're looking for. And so we dive into that. We look at their lifestyle. Is there anything going on in their lifestyle that can maybe be a roadblock for their nutrition to work as good as possible? Their activity level, their environment, their household, their supplements. Do they need detox support? Like the environment that you live in. Is there potentially a lot of chemicals? Do we want to avoid certain treats? Types of treats. How often are you feeding them? Do we need to adjust how often they're being fed so that their health can improve? Do they need to be fed more frequently? So this is all personalized to you and your pet. We also talk about testing. So we want to talk about testing their microbiome, that community of bacteria and viruses and yeast in their gut. Do we want to look at testing them for heavy metals? Do we want to look at testing them for glyphosate? Do we want to test them for mold? This is all personalized to you and your pet. Do we feel like we can use nutrition and reassess, or have you been doing the things that should be working and they're not? And where is this roadblock? And how can we loop in your primary care veterinarian, your family veterinarian, so we can all collaborate? And how can we all have a piece of this so that we're all collaborating for your pet's best health? And so a big part I want pet owners to know, I'm very transparent about this, recipes are not included in the consult. They are created separately because they are fully customized to you and your pet, to you and your dog. They are fully customized, so they are not part of it. Because not everyone who comes to me wants to cook for their dog. And there are some of you that have come to me and are like, I don't want to cook. I want to know what I can buy. Give me some topper ideas. And then you come back 30 or 60 days later and you're like, you know what? This was a good stepping stone. I like this. I want to do better. I'm ready to do recipes. Can we meet again? Or some of you do two recipes. You're like, I'm going to dabble in it. I'll offer them a few times a week and you do it. And you're like, man, they really like it. And I've noticed their energy's better. I've noticed they're not vomiting. I've known they're not spitting up. The stool's better. I want more recipes. I want to add more variety to them. And so recipes are not separate. What you can expect with recipes, though, is that they're not cookie cutter. Now, you may consult with me and your cousin may consult with me or your friend, and they may have similar ingredients. But what I don't do is grab a file of mine, like, oh, your dog is 50 pounds, they're an adult, they got some skin issues, here's your recipe. No, it is personalized to you and your dog. Not to say that there's not similarities amongst some recipes based on ailments, sensitivities, allergies, preferences for your dog. This is also what we talk about. Does your dog not like certain foods? Or they like them, but you notice when they eat turkey, which they love, they scratch to high heavens. We talk about all that. We talk about, do we even want to do allergy testing? Do we want to consider that? And that's why this is all personalized for you and your dog. It is designed for you and them, your needs. They do come with email support. The depth and the quality of email support is the same across the board. It just depends on how many recipes you have, determines the length. And the reason for that is if you have more recipes, you need a little bit more email support time. And so it is ongoing support to be there for you when you have a question. You're like, hey, am I supposed to be measuring the cooked amount or the raw amount of the food before I cook it? And these are all things that we go over when you get your recipes. When I make them, I typically need 5 to 7 business days to create them because I'm creating sometimes multiple pets in the same week on top of nutrition consultations, on top of working in a hospital, on top of life. And so, and that way it gives me clarity and dedicated time to be really intentional about it. We again meet on Zoom complimentary for 5 or 10 minutes. I share my screen and we go over the recipes. Any questions? And here's the thing too, before the recipes are finalized, I send you a list of ingredients like, hey, I'm thinking based on what you told me about Bambi or Star or Clark, whatever your pet's name is, based on what you're telling me, I think these ingredients would be ideal. Thumbs up or thumbs down. A, can you find them? Do you feel comfortable purchasing them? Like price point? Does your dog really like these ingredients? Yes? Cool. All right, I'll be back and formulating the recipe. Or if you have allergy sensitivity testing, I take that into account as well. Or I may tell you, this is really conflicting information based on these tests. Do we want to rock the boat? Do we want to try it? What do you feel comfortable with? And so then we meet. That email support starts the day that you get the recipes. There's no point in starting it before because you don't have it. And so that number is based on that. And I'll tell you, if you need more email support when we're done, I won't go anywhere. There's ways to extend it. There's ways for us to keep doing it. So just know you're not gonna be handed a recipe and be like, all right, well, if you got a problem, schedule another consult. I'm there to help support you. So there are options there even afterwards. And it matters because implementation takes time, especially if your pet is a picky eater. Their gut is a wreck. They are very sensitive. They're prone to pancreatitis. And I have a whole soapbox on that I won't even get into on this. You need help troubleshooting. You're like, again, I got a question recently. Should I be measuring the steamed vegetables, or should I do it raw? Because it's a very different amount. Yeah, I get it. It is different. And so I'm there and I explain as much as I can during the consultation and as much as I can during the recipe delivery. And I also get sometimes questions come up. Not everything is covered because we talk about something else that's really exciting or really pertinent. And so that's why that email support is there, is to help guide you. And sometimes I get really happy when the emails I get from you guys are like, they love the recipe. Things are going great. We're good. And what you can expect with that is I will check in with you probably the beginning of each week. So that way we have runway for the rest of the week for any changes we need to make. And you can email me questions. You can email me things are good. There's some pet owners that I don't hear from them unless I check in with them. They're like, things are good. I'm like, I love that. I love that. I also know, again, no two dogs are the same. And that you may need that added support. You may need that guidance. You may help bridge, you're talking to your primary care veterinarian, and I can help be that advocate for you. And so the consult isn't just about food. It's not just about filling their bowl. It's about longevity. It's about helping your dog thrive and not just survive. It's about reducing chronic issues. It's about the pet that is on 10 medications and you want them on less because you know that they have a life worth living that isn't just a chronic prescription pad. It is helping your pet this is your last resort. You've tried everything. You've gone to the specialist. You've done the medications. You've done the shampoos. You've done the treatments. You've done the injections. You're like, I just don't know what else to do, but I feel like something else can be done. Or your pet is healthy, thank the Lord, and you really want to have influence over their food. So you can do that to help your pet by controlling what's in their bowl. It is an investment in your dog's long-term health. I really believe when it comes to their food, which is so cool that we have this influence over our dog's health, right? Something you do for them every single day. Every single day, no matter how old they are, whether they're 6 months old or 6 years or 16, whether it is raining because there's a hurricane and you can't take them out on a walk for 2.5 days because it's nasty out, or it's snowing, or it's icy, or you're traveling. Like, no matter what, or like you're traveling and someone else is watching your dog, and you're like, I don't know if they're going to take him for that 2 mile walk I normally do. It is so cool that you can have this influence over your dog's health every single day, no matter how old they are, no matter the weather, no matter where you live, no matter anything. How cool is that? Twice a day, once or twice a day, you have that influence over your dog's health to put deposits into their health bank. I think it's so cool. And so, thinking about a few pets recently that have really turned around, that the owners were preparing to say goodbye. I'm thinking I actually could sit here and I probably should do a podcast episode or a YouTube episode on several pets and highlighting them. But I'm thinking of two of them particularly that came to me that were on a lot of medications. One of them was on 10 medications. She was severely underweight. This precious dog is a service dog, means a lot to this dog parent. And she came to me desperate, 3 years old, and thought she was going to lose her. We tailored her nutrition. We started with, I believe it was 4 recipes. She has since added 2 more now that she got those down. Dog is off all 10 medications. I believe is no longer being seen by the internist, last I heard, and has gained almost all of her weight back simply by changing her food and having it personalized. And I was collaborating with the internist too. It was all a team effort. And I don't want to dilute what they did for this dog. They were also a very integral part in this dog. Sometimes we need these medications to help. And I use this example lately, and it has hit for some owners. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna keep using that analogy. It's like if you had a fire in your house, which I hope happens to no one. Let's say your stove, like a pan, catches on fire, and it's big. What do you first do? Hopefully you have a fire extinguisher in your house. If you don't, this is your plug. Get one for safety reasons. You grab your fire extinguisher until the firemen show up, until the fire truck shows up. Sometimes we need that fire extinguisher until the fire truck can show up. Sometimes we need the traditional meds to calm things down, to get relief until the fire truck, the integrative, maybe a little bit holistic, a little bit traditional, that blend can show up to help support them for long term. And sometimes we have to undo a little bit of work that was done, or a little bit of, I don't even want to say damage, a little bit of work, we'll call it, that was done because of traditional meds. But sometimes we need them. And so this dog now is doing great. The owner is just blown away. Another dog I'm thinking about was but he was 13 years old when he came to me. He has just celebrated his 14th birthday. His pet parent was convinced that he wasn't going to make it to his 14th birthday when we met. In fact, I could hear the angst in her email to me initially when she reached out. I could hear the panic. And we met, and within, I think, I want to say within 2 weeks, we were seeing an improvement with him with no more vomiting and diarrhea. He came to me on, I'd have to know exactly, this is a rough quote, I'm thinking about like 7 or 8 medications. He's now down to 2. He was vomiting a lot. He was having diarrhea. He was losing weight to the point where it was getting a little too dangerous. He stopped losing weight. He's gained a little bit. He's not gained as much as I liked, but I think some of this is residual from him being on steroids for a while, that he's lost some muscle mass and he's older. It's going to be harder to build back that muscle. But the good news is he's stopped losing weight. He's off a lot of his medications. He's still on 2 of them. And the goal is to see if he can handle being tapered off. He's walking better. He's happier. He's loving his food, which he wasn't before. He's not having vomiting and diarrhea. And so these are things that are possible for you and your dog. I'm also thinking of another patient I had, 6 years old, that the owner was fed up with the allergies. It was like, Cytopoint isn't working, Apoquel isn't working. I've tried all the things. I get very temporary relief. I don't like that I'm giving my pet these medications and I'm having little relief. I don't like I'm spending the money. I don't like giving him medications that aren't working. And so again, we tailored the nutrition, and now her pet is itching less, much less. The coat is healthier. And here's the cool thing is when we fix the skin, so often I pet owners tell me, oh my gosh, they're a different dog. They're so much more playful. Yeah, it's their largest organ. They feel better. And so if you're ready to get clarity, if you're ready to ditch the cookie cutter and get the personalization plan for you and your pet, I want to invite you to schedule your one-on-one nutrition consultation. I will leave the link below. Again, it may be 30 days till you can get in. But what I can tell you is if you send me an email afterwards, not in a panic, be like, hey, I would really appreciate if I can be put on your move up list. And you know what? I would love to do that for you. And I will stay in contact with you. And there may be openings that we can make work. And I may send you an opening. You're like, I can't, but I will try my best. I almost always, everyone on my move up list, almost all of them, I've been able to either move them up or offer them something. It may have not worked out, but offer them a position to move up. It doesn't always work, but I try to because I understand. I also want to know that I can be helped when I feel like my pet really needs it, when I can be given that like kind of like lifesaver boat. And don't forget, you're going to get the email to fill out that form, do it. And when you do it, I can move you up. So once you are scheduled and you fill out that form, then I can put you on my move up list because once I have that form, I know that I can send you an email and be like, hey, I have an opening tomorrow and I already know about your pet. I've already done my homework on them. I got the information I need rather than waiting on the information and not getting it. And now moving you up to really strategize with your pet. I don't have the information. And now we're using part of that time to history take when you're just so excited to strategize. And I am too. So I really look forward to getting to know you and your pet and helping them live better so they can live longer.